Hi, hello, welcome, and welcome to this live stream. And in this live stream, I'm going to add TypeScript typings, or basically improving it for the one of the popular library, the enquirer. And without further ado, let's get started. So before we begin, let me describe what the problem we have and why I'm working on this. So if you go to the enquirer, so this is the library that I'm going to work on today. And it's a great library. A lot of people using it. And you can see that there's 1.2 million a month of usage. So it's all good and nice and good. But the typings or the TypeScript types it has is not really that nice. So what happened is they have included their TypeScript types over here. You can see it here. Let me click on it. So it have some types defined, and but not a lot. And the problem is when let me show you over here. So say, for example, when I'm importing it, so you see that here it only have three things: a prompt, class, and a prompt and a prototype, and also the same for the default export. So it's just that. So it doesn't have much things. And you compare it to what it has, what it really has, when you see how it is being used. You can see that it get this prompt. That's what we have. But as you will see, that it's also not easy to use. And then also you can see that over here now it have class like this, conform and many other things, the input and register and so on. So all of these are not there. So what we're going to do is to add that to the system. Okay, so let me get out of this now. So I already have forked the library and git clone it here. Okay, now let me remove that, close that, open this up. So this is library. So as you can see, when I run test, I already have done npm install. So the test is working, and so as the coverage. I think if you look at here, that is the two scripts that's available, test and cover. Okay, they are all working here. So so some PR ago, someone have added the TypeScript and then also add some test over here, which is nice. But as you can see, it's it just work on the prompts, and that's about it. So the first things I'm going to do is to change or update the project a little bit so that I can actually start using TypeScript. So if you look at the package.json, it already have TypeScript installed. But the idea here, what I'm going to do is to convert the test to TypeScript. So because the tests are the it describes the usage, right? So if we're able to convert all the tests to TypeScript and all of them passes, then we will be in a good shape. Okay, so what are we going to do? This first thing is install some dependencies. So we're going to install TS node. So let's start with that. So with TS node, I'm going to remove this test, and then I think it's called register that -r require. Let me do a search for that. So thing what's need to do is mocha -r that. Okay, so get that registered, and then in this repository, the source code is placed in the lib folder and the test is placed in the test folder. So we want to run it over on the test folder, or maybe actually let's remove it for now and see what we get. So npm run test or yarn test, it's the same thing. And then it fell. Oh, E. Okay, so yep, it's working already, right? So that use all the default stuff what it has. So over here is good. So the next things I'm going to do is get the TS config out here, and then just run again. Things are all still fine. So for this TS test, I'm not going to touch it because the actual tests probably are all included in the actual test over here. So let's work on the first file. So what I'm going to do is change it to TS. And then you see, hold on a second. Okay, TS node. Let's keep on going for now. One weird thing is this should start failing already. Of course, over here now you see that there's a bunch of error because of the types. So let's start changing it. Oh, I know why. Because I haven't get started. So change this to import. Well, let's see what do I get. That's strange. So let's see. Well, for first things is you can see that this is already failing. The good thing is here it shows that the test is still passing, of course, because we haven't changed anything yet. Although, let's see. I wanted to transpile. I wanted to make sure that it will fail. Let's see what do I get. Yeah, this is still fine. So maybe let's focus on getting the type. So let me put it to the side. Okay, so the first things is that it say the input is not there. Right, but at the same time, I want to transpile it. See. So there you go. So because the Mocha haven't set up, I haven't tell Mocha what other place to look at. So over here now you can see that there's a bunch of error. The TypeScript try to compile it. So say for example this first error, it doesn't exist, right? So this match with what we have, what we see over here. So we're going to fix the test as we go. Okay. So on the right hand side, let's minimize that. This is the current type. So the first things I'm going to do is to organize this a little bit. So because the type here, there's some problem. So the problem is you can see that this is doing a export equal of this enquirer class and namespace. And then inside these two class, or the class and namespace, it uses things like this prompt options and this base prompt, but they are declared inside. They never really get exposed. So this is a problem because when you're actually using it, you don't have access to this. So it will actually give you some error. And then another thing is this Node.js, because this is not a correct way to describe the types, because what happened here is that the Node.js namespace is actually a global namespace, which when you are trying to declare a module, that's not how you use it, because when you try to consume this package and try to run, try to compile, it will say that it cannot find this Node.js. And that's actually a issue and a PR online in the enquirer repository mentioned about this. And to fix that, actually let's fix this right now, is to change this and use the class event emitter from the event modules. So when I do that, there are some other errors. I know why. I know why I'm not seeing other errors, because before I start the live stream, I already add something. I add this type notes. So oh no, actually this type note was here. So when I install it, you will see that is this event emitter is available. This event module. So anyway, that will fix this issue. And then there is one more, this Node.js stream. And this should comes from the TTY. Okay. And then the next thing is the right stream also get it from TTY. So this right now, this is good. And the next things I'm going to do is add these, all of this, besides the enquirer, into the namespace. So this is a trick, or one way to organize the types, so that it is easy to manage when you're using it. So what I mean is this. So after I move them in here, you will see that the base prompt is here. Well, the other things is not here yet because I haven't exported. Base prompt, nope, it's not showing up yet. Why is that? See, for this. I wonder why it's not showing. This is something I need to figure out. Okay, there's no default export because I need to turn on yes motor interrupt. Start. So now this is here. And let's see why it's. Oh, yeah, because also another thing is not showing up is because here we are not actually exposing it. Again. Where did this come from? Event emitter, that's fine. Why is it re-exporting? So export namespace, individual merge declaration. I'm not trying to do a merge declaration. So I'm trying to well, let's fix this problem. Fix all the error first. We got here. But this is a problem, so let's change that for now and see what we get. Because I want to make sure got all of the things that I'm expecting. This is the class, not the namespace. Let's see. Why is that? Base prom is here. Yeah, the full shows up. Why the others is not showing up? Oh, of course. It's because of this. Because I wasn't using it as a type. So the type is actually there. I just not using it correctly. That's why it's not showing up. Dummy. Well, that's what you get when you're live streaming. Anyway, so you can see that the types are here, right? And then we can continue. So let's get rid of this foo first. Okay, and then close this. So now, hide this for now. So now you see some other errors. So we have this input, and then over here, when you switch to TypeScript, you see that this is actually not being used. And so let me just take that away. And then this support is not being used either. So I wonder why, right? So when I move that away, change that, let me just double check to see if the test still pass first. Yeah, it's there, still fine. So this is just not needed. And then another thing that I realize is not needed is this file. Supposedly this showing up an error, right? It's not doing that, because if you look at this file, you can see that this try to emit a emitter, but there's no emitter defined over here, and all of the other things are not really used at all, right? The out stream is not used, this input stream is not exported, it's just created it. And so also I try to look for anything that reference this emitter is not being referenced, right? But for now, this is not giving me error for some reason, so I'm not going to touch it. But just so you know, that's some weird stuff over there. Okay, so let's get back to this. Now I need to have this input class, and I don't have it in the existing type. I have this choice and then all these options. So I need to get that class. So for that, well, actually, I don't need this. I can go to the README, because the README show me the usage. So you can see this is a new, so that's definitely is a class. So I'm going to just write that. Right. Let's put this side like this. So over here now, this is good, and of course, it won't be nice down the road because this is empty. But let's fix the issue one by one, right? That's this prompt on, and where this prompt come from? This come from the enquirer, come from the custom. So this is an interesting thing, right? So what it means is that the prompt is actually detached from the, is a static property of the enquirer, and so it can be used by itself. So let's see, what do I get here? Right, so if I just F12 into it, you can see that that's where it came from. So line 42 over here. So it's using this export function. So that's one thing. Let's talk about that a little bit. So when you're defining static property of a class, there are two ways to do it. You can describe it inside the class and say it is a static. So let's just add a dummy one. This return void. Right. So then when I go here, you can see that this is this pro, right? And you can also do what I'm doing. Right. You can also do the same thing. Right. However, you can also do it in this namespace. So in this case, since it is meant to be separated and used by itself, I think it is better the way it's doing right now to export it as or declare it as a separate function inside the namespace. Right. So the issue is it is missing the on, right? So to do that, let's try the wrong way first. Right. Normally, in the newer TypeScript, you were able to do something like this, and you can see that this change. You see that it has this on function added. Right. But in type declaration, let's see, let's try to fix that. So this wouldn't work. So the issue is this wouldn't work over here. And also, I just trying to share you a less optimal solution. The better solution is actually reusing namespace. So it's the same idea as this enquirer. You create a namespace called prompt and then export type. Typically I like to use type as a function, and let's mark it like this first. So this right now, this is saying it doesn't exist because I haven't exported. Hold on a second. Why this is not working? Because normally this should work. At least when I'm doing TypeScript itself instead of writing the declaration. So let's see. Do I have to declare? Nope. Well, there's another way I can do this, is by declaring this as a type or interface in that, for that matter. But again, I tend to use type. Oh. Interesting. I can't do it this way. It's definitely, normally this should work. Why is that? Let's get the function there. The function doesn't have namespace, and I definitely can do this. This should definitely work. Oh, let me think. It's maybe it's because it is a. Let me try. Yeah. So this able to do that, and from.on, and this is void. All right, because it is a function in this case, it has to be done like this. Okay. If that's the case, I'm not complaining. Let's keep that. Going. So in the documentation, it doesn't specify this on function. So I just have to take a look at the source code and guess what it takes. I guess is the first one is a type, right? And then we will fix the type later on. And then this is a callback, definitely. And then this callback takes a P and do a submit. So no, this is example. So let's see what we get here. Where do we define this on? So let's see, where is it? Will it be just the event emitter? Maybe it's just the event emitter. Let's see. Prompts extends events. This is all inside the test already. Prompt equals new this prompt types. Oops. This is supposed to be this function. Yeah, it extends events, but well, one way to find out is to run it. Interesting. It doesn't print out anything. Because let's see. Because by default it's look for JS, and so it doesn't get. This is getting a new prompt, and this I want to get it from enquirer itself. But let's keep going and see what can I get these basic types in. Well, let's just put any over here. Doesn't work. So yes, any return void. So that will solve the problem. And then here, this saying that the prompt takes a prompt option, and the prompt option, one of the prompt option is input. And when it is input here, it doesn't have this show. So the show is not defined anywhere. So for now, let's put it over here first, and then the answer. This function returns an answer, and this is just an object. So we will definitely need to fix this later on. But right now, don't worry about it. so that we can get the first test to pass. Okay. So let error, callback error, error. What's the test over here? This do a callback. Okay. It's probably some kind of error. It was set over here and then try to call it back, but then what will happen? Need to figure that out. Right. So on submit and value is not declared, and this on submit is empty. So over here, new enquirer. Interestingly, it doesn't complain. This on submit is an object is passing in over here. It's declaring this as an object. So that's why the type and all that is not specified. I can do it like this for now, but definitely again all this will need to be cleaned up. So seems like yep. So now you can see that this is typed, and definitely I don't want to define the type here. I want it to be inferred, but for now let me just put them here. And then we will fix that later on. So this type of inquiry base prompt or type of function that return a base prompt, right? So then this is saying that full is the type of full is not a type of base prompt. The reason is because the input that we put in is a empty class. So let's extend base prompt. That will fix the problem. Okay. So this is passing because again I haven't really run the code yet. Right. So now there you go. The emitter is not defined over here. This is not showing up. Let me see, because I want to get all the help I can get from the TypeScript. So let's see if this would turning on allow.js will allow me to allow the IDE to help checking this. Yes or no? Let's take a look. Right, that doesn't help. That doesn't help. That's okay. Let me reword this so that I don't have extra stuff. But let's go back to this guy. Before I do anything, let me check. Yeah, it's not mentioned anywhere. It's not mentioned anywhere in the README. It's not used in the code. So, and then this is under the test folder. So that's very unlikely that this code will be used by any consuming code and reference it using deep referencing. So I would say it's pretty safe to delete it, remove it. For now, I just comment it up. All right, 174 passing. And To be precise, let me see if I can only run the TypeScript test. Type test. Oh, I ran this. Yeah, I ran that one. So let's see, the expression is not constructible because, because this is wrong to begin with, because namespace object is not callable, and so the same is not constructible. So let's see if this will give what we get. So this saying the choice is declared here. Because of this, that shows some more error. What is this error? Choice is missing in type. Oh, I see. So over here, choice index 88 over here, this is a choice. So again, because this is just the TypeScript test, the original test, I don't worry too much. As long as all the real tests pass, we should be okay. Has container cannot be invoked without new. Okay, so it's actually trying to do this. Yeah, this is a problem because TypeScript will check that this is actually a class, and then make sure that it cannot be invoked without new. Or maybe it was this type. See what it is. Yeah, that is the prompt. Let me just try. All right, so this work using new, and of course, if I do that without, I will get the same error. Right, I get the error over here. So the question is the original code has some problem? So this is a register function, register specific type with a function. So this is actually the prompt class. This is how where it is being used. Let me take care of that in the later on. Let's just focus on what we have here. Right. What's the error? Now, that's fine. Right, so my guess is probably it's just the way this is written have some problem in, and that is actually not the right way to use this register. Of course, later on, once we are done with all that, we will go back to see if all this use case is correct and add them in. But for now, at least we get the first one passed. Of course, again, this is not optimal because I just dump in a whole bunch of any and things in there. So it's time to clean that up. Right. But at least we get something to start with. Right. So now this is good. Okay, let's take a look at the overall structure one more time. We have this class, which I believe there's a case to use it with using extension and all that. So that's good. We will deal with that later. And then with this and this as a static method. With this handler on type. And so the first question to think about is this fixed? Are these fixed? Can it be, are they just strings, or it has to be a certain string literals, just like the regular emitter that the string literals are closed and open and things like that. And in this case, it would be prompt, input, and tags, and all other stuff. So what I would do is, for now, let's put a placeholder in here. Types, set that as a string. And so that when later on we can get all the stuff over there and move and then do the refactor in one shot. So as for the handler, this P, I don't know what this P is. All right, over here it suggests it's a prompt. Prompt has a value, has submit. And what do we get here? Do we have a submit function? No, we don't. There's no submit function defined. What if it is a event? Let's take a look here. It's an event emitter. So no, event emitter doesn't have submit, and it doesn't have value. Right, so this is something that completely missing. Right, this has this base prompt and have this run, and so since this guy has a submit, so let's search for this submit function. Async submit, it defined it over here. What was this? This is a snippet? No. Submit, so it is a prompt. Select. Okay, that is actually a select prompt. The select prompt has it. Nope. How about its base class? Base class. Let's take a look at the base. Right, this is an event. So over here, this is already off. Right, so over here there is a submit. So the base submit class has the base prompt class has this submit. Let's just do that. So this doesn't have a submit. Make sure I'm getting where I'm getting the event from. Want to get where do you get this from? Events. Oh, events. So that this is a class. Yep, there's no submit. So we can see that the submit is really purely introduced here by this prompt class. So what am I going to do? Because this is really, really off than it turns out to be. All right. So this class, I don't, yeah, it is a internal. That's why it extends from this event emitter. This is internal, export internal. Yeah, so that's why it extend from this event emitter. So this, let's say this is okay. And let's build up from there. Let's forget about all this naming and start from day one. So it seems like the type is really so messy that it doesn't worth going back to just try to reuse it. Okay, let's see. Let's get back to here. This is the base class, as far as I can tell. And let's follow this. Let's follow this convention. Export form2, and I just add it as 2 so that can differentiate from the original one, and then later on at the end when I'm done, I'm just renaming them back. Event emitter, right? So it has this option. Void in there. So you can see that I am just reusing the same trick. The same way to organize the code, the types. I created this. Type and annotation cannot be appear. Okay, forgot about that. So what does it has? It has this name and type. Let's assume that they are string first. And when it is not, when the test, when we are converting the right test to TypeScript, we will figure out and we have to expand. And since it is an object, it has a default empty object. It means that, well, of course, I can't do it here because I'm doing a decoration. So it means that this is optional. And being that optional, and then with this, it also means that all this can be optional, I assume. Right? Because if you don't provide anything, it will get empty. Although I wonder when it's empty, all this name is empty, what was it going to do? Do we have tests for that? I am concerned. That's one of the reason why I keep saying, you know, we should switch over to TypeScript. But for now, let's try to follow what it has. And then here, let's describe e equals to new events. Continue to describe what it has. So the events itself doesn't have a name and type, of course, as I would assume, but I created over here just to make sure. Right. Let's do that. And so this have a name, has a type. And then this have a type. And then have an option. And since although this is optional, this is set to an empty stuff over here, I can safely say this is not undefined. Right. So the theme, this theme, timer, this, I need to figure out. Should I figure it out now? Yeah, let's go. Let's just dig deep in there. Theme, following prompt, passing the prompt in. So the prompt has this options, is all it is, it has this option, and then declare a symbol and a style. So this really is just a prompt. It expects a prompt object. So there's nothing additional over here. But we know there is a symbols. And this do a merge. I don't know what it is yet. So let's put any over here. And put any over here. Right. Because that will definitely set this, even this is empty and stuff, I believe. It's a merge. I assume it will give us something. Right, and then the same. This is doing an option, it override the options. It have other things, but we will need to figure that out during the test. So the timer, is it the same mechanism? So it has this timer. Timers, I don't know what it is right now. It have this option dot timer, right? And it is a object. And it can be over here, it can be undefined. So timers and some kind of object. Let's see what kind of object it is. So object key, get a key, and then get this option. It can be a number. If not, it can be something else. Right, so it is a record of this key. It's still an object key, right? So this is string. So we can safely assume this is a string. And then this would be can either be a number or something. Right, this option, this is an object. So this object, this option object has this in the fold. I think that's it. Right. In the fold, and it can be, this is a number, and then frames, it is some kind of array. Some kind of array, we don't know yet what kind of array it is. So let's put in any. So it also create this state. Get this prompt, just take a look. It have the prompt have type and name, which we already know. Then it have this symbol and style, which we also already know, so nothing new here. But we have this state, and it will always be available because it will be instantiated over here. So this is a state. And then this state class is just seems like a simple class with something. So I'm just going to describe it over here for now. What is this error? Oh, why are you complaining? Oh, I forgot to close. Okay, so state. Let's also just call it state 2. Right, and then we will go back to this. Yeah, let's just drill down. Define, what is this defined? This is a util defined. I guess this is creating a reflect defined property. It's a property key, it's a fixed one, and then it's accessible because this is just a value. So that means this prompt is also accessible, but the way it's set it, I guess it is not meant to be, and also is the underscore, right? It prefixes as an underscore. Typically that means it is a private property. So for now, I'm not going to add that one in, but I'm going to add the rest in. So type is a string, name string, message string. What is it complaint? Oh, it's a class. I see. Let's do some shortcut over here. And this cursor to this number. And then there is a width, and width, I assume it is a number. Let's double check. Export width, call this function, return column -1 + 1. Yeah, so I think it is pretty safe to say it is a number. So, and then assign this with option, so it get whatever the option has. I don't know. Should that be the case? Should that be exposed? For now, I'm not going to do it because typically the way you do this is for internal use. But of course, we will see. The test will tell us. Right. In fact, I don't have to do all these per se. Right. Again, I could have let the test tell me what's available, but given how it's going so far, my guess is the test is not that complete, as you can see in the test coverage. The coverage is not that good. Of course, this is missing a little bit of test, but it doesn't change the fact that it is pretty low. So keep on going. This symbol is missing. This symbol required cancel and submit. This is a set. And then these two are Boolean. Type of set. Is there a set? Well, anyway. This symbol, we don't know what it is yet. This symbol in style. From the name, it suggests it's some kind of array, but we'll figure that out later. So the cron, it returns state, which is essentially this plus status and buffer and delete cron. So that's when things start getting. We can use the built-in omit. Let's do that. Let's use the built-in omit for now. Although I have the type plus, but because this is not my own package, so I want to restrain myself from adding dependencies. So let's use the built-in state for now, and this will remove the cron property, and it will add in the status. Our status already has it. Status, but it's not described over here. So status is that's definitely one thing. Although don't know what the type it is yet. And then there is a buffer. That is a buffer, right? Buffer.form give you a buffer. This is state dot buffer. It is a string, so this give you. Let me just double check. This is buffer. Oh, so this change it from a buffer to a from a string to a buffer. And let's just make sure, right? Because I haven't use buffer that much, but the buffer from is all return a buffer, so that's good. So it is a buffer. So in that case, I will also need to exclude buffer from the state too. So this is another type. I don't know what it is, but because I haven't looked at the usage yet. This is definitely a buffer. Well, some kind of a state, right, with some slight modification. So this is a color. The underscore, don't know what it is. What's the type of this? This dot color, it can be a function, or it can be style pending. What can it be? What does it mean? Is it a function? Or it's a value? I don't know yet. So let's say I don't think I can do this. I don't think there's such a thing. So it's just color. It's either some kind of a function or something else. I don't know what this other things is. If this function, it will return this. If not, it will return this pending. And then it can also return this cancel and submitted, which is a Boolean. Is that right? Styles? No, I don't know, because this style is any, not the states. So don't know yet. This style is any, I don't know. So then keep going. Loading. Also, this is a boolean or string. If boolean, so it's either boolean or choice. Right. If type of this is boolean, it will return it, or return choice, or return false. So it can be only boolean or choice. Choices. And then there is a read-only get status. Do we have status already? No, we don't. Okay, that's good. And so this status can only be ending, cancelled, or submitted. Oh, there is a status. I describe it over here. Oh, this is doing a get. So this do a get, this doing this, which is okay. So I don't need this one. Okay, so seems like we almost get this whole thing down, which is good. So we get this state, and so now we can. Did I change this file? Yeah, I just try to do that change. Okay, so I'll revert the change because I don't want to make sure. I want to make sure that I'm not making much changes except things like this. Let me just double check. This is moving the test. That's okay. This is, what's this key? Okay. I think I probably messed up creating something that I'm not supposed to. That's okay. Just remove it. Right. All this just review. This is fine. Okay. So now we are done with this line. So now we have this initial. It said a boolean, find return that. So it return option dot initial or option not default. There's a better way to do that, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not judging. So the option have this initial, which I don't know what the type is yet. And then also have this default, which I don't know what it is yet. But based on this, it looks like it's a generic type. Let me do this. So for now, this is any, and this can be optional, it seems like. I really feel like a lot of these are private stuff. Of course, I can type it, but this all looks like private stuff. So let me backtrack and ignore that and stop there. From this will get the key. It's valid key. It's valid key. Okay, this do all the binding, it seems like, but I'm not really. Well, stop worrying about it. So let's just focus on the function first. Key press input is property is a character, and then event is some object. Well, let's put it as object first so that it will spell properly. Is this function returning anything? Yes, it return a thing. I don't know what the type, what's the return type of that. But for now, let's put that as void. Oh, ambient context cannot use async. Okay, that's okay. The promise describe it. That probably makes sense. Let's keep going. Alert with void is not. This is likely not returning anything. That's good. Cursor high is also void. Cursor show is also void. Okay. This is a lot of functions I need to add. So let me do something. Let's use the DTS generator to create a base one. How do I use it? Or M. Okay. I'm not going to use anything meaningful over here, but because you will soon see it will be just any. They always return any. All of those things is any. See, where's the class prompt? There you go. Yeah. So the DTS generator, it tries best, but of course, without actually looking into the code, it doesn't know if it accepts anything. So that's why it's look like this. So I'm going to copy this because there's a lot of functions. The static one, I don't worry. So that I don't have to type all those. Right, cursor show, cursor high, and then I will just find the right one. Right, take a string. I assume it is a string, and then doesn't return anything. Okay. Yeah, but for that, it's a string per string, so we're good. I hope. This is likely just check for empty string. I don't think you should put in a null or undefined over here. So the next one is clean. Oh, clear. Clear, there's a lines, which is a number. And doesn't return anything, right? Yep. So restore. Doesn't take anything. And doesn't return anything. Good. Sections, not taking anything. And returning something. First, yeah, this is doing a whole bunch of stuff. From after. So header, what kind of header? buffer.slice. Buffer is a string. So so you can see that the benefit is already as we adding the type, the stuff that I add at the beginning over here, these already probably start to pay off a little bit. Prom dots. Oh, this is prom.state, not prom2.state. But it is not right. This is a state. State is a state class. This is incorrect, right? This is a object. Let's go back to where we are at. We're here. Session. This dot state is a state. Yeah, it will. Yep. We get the state. That's right now. Get the buffer, get the input. So this is all typed now. So the work we have for the state pays off. Well, no, still not pay off. This is what this class already have. So from here we know that anyway is a string, and then the prom is a string, and then the after is a string. And then the restless one is an array. The last is probably a string. Oh, yeah, is that right? Submit. Not taking anything. And then not returning anything. Good. Cancel. It as an error. And this dot error. Let's take a look. It can be a string. This error return can be a string or things like that. And this return a string, you emit to that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't know. And it can be a promise. Holy moly, this is confusing. So we don't know. So let's and actually let's mark it as object first, so that if there's anything that we can. No, let's do it as any. Pros is nothing and not returning anything either. Good. Start, same thing. A lot of these are the same thing. Skipped. Is returning a boolean. Guess. If call this, I hope it will return a boolean by the name of it. Yeah, this is a boolean. Right, so I just make my best guess is keep this as a boolean. And then over here, this option has a skip. So the skip can be a boolean or a function. So let's go back to this option. So there is a skip. It can be boolean or a function. Since it is a boolean, I think it's safe to call it that it will return a boolean. Right, and for that we need to wrap this around. And then this pass in a prompt. Well, this is called prompt. So this is prompt 2. And then it get a name and a value. The name and value, name we was assuming is a string, which unfortunately can be optional over here. When we first create it over here, it can be name and then do the merge and all that stuff. I don't think it ever provide any default values. It might be a bug in the original code or a hole in the original code, but seems like that's what it is. The value, how about the value? That's a value, default is an empty string. It's very likely it's a prompt, so my guess is I can assume it is also a string. All right. And in this case, I'm not going to make it optional because I want to make sure that if it is being used or being defined, it properly requires 2 params. Okay, so this skip return a boolean, that's done. Initialize taking nothing and likely returning nothing because it's an initialize function. Oh, no, this is inside function. That's good. Void custom render and run. And this return a promise. This once submit and submit it resolved, then the result, I don't know what the result yet, likely the T, but we'll see. Element, that's a name, I guess it's a string. Choice, and guess is a string array, and I guess is a number. So this looks fine like a name. It's like an array, but the choice can be undefined. And then the I actually don't know what it is yet, and but let's assume it as a number for now. And this will return the value. If it is empty string, it return an empty string. So this is definitely, at least it is a string. It's an async, so it's promise string, and it can be something else, but my bet is a string, but we'll see. Prefix, nothing there. And then return element await this call. So these will get the same value as element, return value of element, or the return of this style or this element. Yeah, we definitely need to come back to this function. So it's a promise. The element we are saying is likely a string, so let's just call it as string first. And hopefully this does return a string. message is returning a message. So very likely this is a string, right, from the description. And but this is also a async function. Separator. Same thing as that. Same thing as the last call. Assuming is a promise string. Pointer is a choice. String array, can the choice be defined? Yes. Because it's being called by into element. And then I assume is a number. Promise, what does it return? String. This looks like a string. This styled is likely also a string. Okay. Indicator. So seems like this choice shows up a lot, and we already that's not it. This can be anything. It really is not this guy. I'm not getting the benefit of what I'm writing right now because the type name is, this is JavaScript stuff, this is TypeScript stuff, and the type is still using, like they're using this. Let me actually change it. Convert all of this to old. This okay. These are okay. Because I'm not going to use those names anyway. The base prompt is also okay. I'm not going to use it anyway. So it's only that. It's actually it's not that bad. Let's see if I can benefit from this. Let's finish this one. Now change this to prompt, and so as the state. Over here it doesn't, but that's okay because this is JavaScript, but on the test side, likely I will be able to start benefit from it. Actually, take a look. This is still any. I haven't changed anything yet. This is not returning the prompt yet. Yeah, this is still the old one. Well, keep going. It's pretty soon I will start able to benefit from it. So this not taking anything and returning null. My guess is null or string. Right? Of course, I don't know, but we'll see in the actual one. This dot element. Dot element is returning this. This footer is a promise returning a string. Same thing here. Header. Int. It's the same thing. Error. Know what this is. Oh, I can even do this. I don't know what the issue over here is. I don't know what this state or error would be. This is a regular string. Okay, let's keep it as string. Format value, guess is string to string, but I could be wrong. Let date in a value. Can be anything. It really can be anything. It's not null and oh, it cannot be null. Well, yeah. Supposedly TypeScript can help on this, but of course it will still check. So since it is checking, this function definitely want to keep it as any. So in this case, this will be that, and this will be any, and that will return a Boolean. So the same thing over here. Value, let's say that, and this return, don't know what this return yet. Resolve. Resolve or util or resolves. What does it do? Or it is a function, so it may be, this may be a function with the context, and let's just call it a function for now. Because I don't know what this argument is. No, whose context is this? Actually, I can figure it out. So the context that this is this prompt. Right, and then this is the value, this is the caller function, and then these are the input. The argument, these are the input. Right. For simplicity, I'm going to put it like this for now. And then what does it return? It didn't say. It can be anything. prototype. We'll get the prompt. Okay, let's do that first. Follow what is said. Style, I don't know yet. Height is likely a number. This is a number. This is a number. Okay. Cursor. What was the cursor? I saw that before. It's a number over here. So let's assume it is also a number. String value is a string. And then this static prompt. If I get this, now I need this static prompt. So this is a property. The question is, do I want to put it in here or not? I don't think I can do this. The result of run, or it is a function. Or this option new prompts.run. So it is it's called return a function that take options, which is likely is just the constructor. So this is just a way to easily create a prompt. And then it will do the run at the same time. This right now likely is the answer, but right. So of course this doesn't work. Okay, so this set option, all these are internal stuff. So I'm done with the prompt. Okay, but I haven't do anything for the enquirer yet. This is passing. So let's take a look at the prompt. So so this is a prompt. It's okay, I can keep it. Oh, there. Cannot redeclare block. Oh, because this because haven't changed this to module yet. Import from prompts. Hold on a second. Let's prompt. Okay, I need to adjust it a little bit. I'll get it through this, get it through the top level. It's prompt base. Okay, and as I'm doing it, let's also import the other. The others are simple. Import Mocha, import assert from assert. Done with this too. And so then this support, this is a local one, which is okay. Test stuff. Timeout. This, it cannot find it because I haven't enabled allow.js. Let's so let's see if this works. If it doesn't, I will go ahead and make the change. So assert. About. However, this timer is not being used. Copy. So the whole thing. Is that the case? Yeah, it wasn't being used. So I don't really need that. And then I don't really need this. Okay. Now, really stuck in a benefit. This option doesn't have a show. Now it does. What are the key press? These are likely string. Okay, so string event objects. Let's take a look because this override the key type. Right. Why this is giving me Oh, okay. I override it. That's why it was not typed. Okay. Uh, key. I don't know what that key is yet. Still. But right now this is an object. From the code, I recall that it could be, well, the key could be a string for obvious reason. But we'll see. Because at least that's not, there you go. So now we can see the key press is actually accepting number also. Interesting. It can be a number. It can be a number. So let's see. The live stream has been for 2 hours, so let's take a break. But you can see there's a lot of work, and let's quickly recap a little bit and take a break. So before I continue, so the first things we've learned, one way my approach is using the test to drive improving the types, right? And then we figured out the original type is not that useful, so I end up recreating it. And then you can use this DTS gen to generate the basic types, although the basic type doesn't really have anything, it's all just any. And but it saved me some typing. And then another thing is you can use the namespace this way to tuck in, that's how I describe it, tuck in all the types so that when you import, let me show you here. When you import, you won't have a lot of type like this right now, because right now these are a lot of the old one, the types, but the new one really is just this prompt and this prompt type, and which later on I likely will also tuck it in somewhere, because the type are all extra things to the user to know. And when they're using JavaScript or even in TypeScript, right? The best thing is you don't even need to aware of the types. You just use whatever available. So when you go to a library, say assert, right? And bam, you take a look at it and it show all the functions. It doesn't need to show all the types. It doesn't, you don't care. You can act on the types, right? So putting all those types inside namespace under the same name tucks those type under it, and so it won't show in the face of the user to the user. So that's a way that I would recommend, and the way that I practice when I'm adding types. So let's take a break, and I will continue to do this live stream in about 15 minutes, and we will see you again. And I hope you have enjoyed so far. Of course, this is a live stream, and I just make all kind of mistakes along the way. But that's how it is. That's how at least for myself, programming looks like. And well, anyway, hope you like it, and I will see you in a bit.